Matatus, you can either talk to us through our number that is 22162 or through our WhatsApp number, the number that is on your screen. And don't forget to leave your name and where you are watching us from so that we can send you a very big shout out. And did you watch that interview with Christine? And the tattoo is still going on. And right about now, I have some guys who have dedicated their lives to sing a better Kibera with their music and their creativity. They are right here with me. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Are you ready to have some fun here?
For sure.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Do you know Karibu?
Oh yes, I know that. That much I know.
Any other Kiswahili word that you know?
Yeah, a few more.
Uh-huh.
A few more like kesho and
Na hakuna matata.
yes, hakuna shida.
Hakuna shida. Karibu sana. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. My name is Kafu the Truth, the tall rap midget. Yeah, I'm a part of Kibera Sound. Yeah, we're a big unit. It's just a representation of it.
Hakuna matata. Tell us your name.
Yeah, I'm Jack. With a friend Phil Tidy, who isn't here, is in the UK, and Haj, we decided to support some Kibera artists and hopefully in that way discover a Kibera sound, let's say, and that's the sort of the brief intro.
Oh wow. Over to you.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Haj, the Kibera Sound manager. My other manager, MC Good, is not here, but he's representing also Kibera Sound somewhere else with other artists. Yeah.
And how exactly did you meet and start to do this noble cause?
Well, we were working with Jack and Phil in the same in the Ministry of Transport back in the year 2014. That's how we met, and I was the musician myself, and Phil was also the musician. So while I was selling my music, that's how we met, and from there, the Kibera Sound is. Yeah.
And what about these other two?
Well, myself, as Haj said, we were working at the ministry, and with Phil, we thought, let's find a way of helping more than just one artist. So we got round to MC Goody. We identified some, who helped us identify some Kibera artists.
Yeah.
And me and Phil, we basically funded. So we got people together. We've recorded 10 tracks actually, with one of the artists, Shortwave, who had a small studio, and we got all those tracks done. And hopefully, the idea is that people will then take these tracks and move to the next level with them.
Was this an inspiration from one person, or it was all of you together, ama one of you decided to sell the idea to the rest? I don't know who.
Well, hii idea ilikuwa inatokana kwamba hawa wasanii walikuwa wanakuja pamoja, wana meet studio, wana let's sing about love. Let's sing about haikuwa inatokana kutoka kwa managers ama sponsors. Wenyewe walikuwa wanakuja wanakutana, kisha baadaye wenyewe wana plan kwenye studio, hao wenyewe wanafanya vitu vyao na producer, kisha baadaye muziki unatoka. Yeah.
And how has the journey been with the Kibera Sound? And understand that most artists from Kibera want to keep the fact hidden. You don't want to say I'm from Kibera. How has the journey been trying to introduce the Kibera sounds and still considering the people from Kibera?
Well, the reception has been good. We are proud of Kibera.
Yeah.
Kibera raised us, so we just came together, like brainstormed, and Kibera Sound was born because we all have like the same ideologies.
Yeah.
We all want to see a better Kibera. So we sat down, put our minds together, then we did what we do best.
How did you go about telling these people that, I know there are people who don't want to say where they come from, maybe they are ashamed, like, no, I don't want to say I'm from Kibera because there are all these perceptions. How did you go about that?
No, we didn't find. I mean, Haj, the person we first started with, he lives in Kibera.
Yeah.
So from the very first moment, we sat down with Phil and Haj, and I said to them, why, instead of helping one artist, let's pool our resources and try and help more than one. And the idea from the start was they would all be from Kibera. To me, there is no negative connotations attached to Kibera, you know. So to me, it didn't. There was no sort of preconceived idea about Kibera. In fact, I felt that given the circumstances of people there, probably there is a lot more creativity than elsewhere. So we got together with MC Goody, we identified the artists, we got them split into trios, because you'll see because we have many tracks. You may hear one track now, Peace and Harmony, but there were other tracks we have a total of 10 tracks. We're not a one track group. We have 10, and you will see that the artists are, for every track there are 3 artists, you know, so we split everybody into every track into 3 by 3, so that there would be a sense of this is a joint effort. It's not one person only. I may have funded, somebody may have run around. We registered everybody with Priska, with all the Artists Association, and so on. So everybody pulled together.
So that means you have not come across people who want to keep the fact hidden where they come from?
No.
Okay.
No. Nobody.
Kibera sound wants to hide he's coming from Kibera. We are proud of Kibera. Yeah.
Okay. And where do you get your resources from?
Well, it's funded by Jackie's Fedonos here. Yeah.
Well, and Phil, and
Philip Tidy.
Initially, but he's gone back to the UK. I mean, I don't want to be seen. I'm not a producer, the sense of a full time. I have another sort of activities I do, but it was just a sort of way of helping people, and so I'm kind of funding the things at the moment. It's a slow process, but we're getting there.
You're the big boss. Okay. And what are these challenges that you have faced through doing the Kibera sound?
During the recording process, or
since you introduced the Kibera sounds up to now?
Well, so far challenges have not been so many, but you know, bringing the concepts to life is a process. Yeah. Like the whole writing process, the whole recording process. So it took some time, but other than that, well, not much. Yeah, reception has been good.
Okay.
I mean, the idea that, you know, Kibera has produced many individual artists.
Yeah, sure, that is true.
So the idea of a Kibera sound made up of 10 artists may have sounded sort of new to some people, and they were sort of maybe wondering, where did we come from, where are we going? But I think people have accepted it now, and I think we may even have imitators now.
Yeah, sure, that is true, because I've interviewed so many people from Kibera and they are really good. And before we go and listen to your song, that you are the track, the Peace and Harmony track, what did you want to achieve when all of you met and you wanted to introduce this thing? What was your goal?
Our goal was that to make Kibera great, to make these 10 artists great. Like somebody like Sophie, who is in the tracks, this was her first time to be in the studio, and she has achieved and she has done more collabos. Yeah. And I think it has done it great. That's our main goal, and to the world to hear that Kibera has good music, not only good music from Kibera, but also talented. Yeah.
And we are going to listen to that track, The Peace and Harmony.
I'm an African ambassador for peace and power. Solo hatuwezi, all we need each other. Ndio maana weni bro, pamoja situsonge, sisi sote tuko same. Says my blood, kutengana Johnny Brown.
Black and white, we can make a better world. If we try, we can have the peace we need. You and I have to make it be real. Get this world, we will make it. Toka magharibi, kusini, kaskazini, dunia ni moja.
Mbona go, juu kabila Kenya tunadai ni kufight tribalism, not each other. Una mother brother, cause you're same mother.
You and I live together as one. 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 Love your neighbor as to love yourself. Restore rest. No man is an island. Born of one clay from Adam and Eve. Born of the roots that can never reverse. Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia. The world is made of you and me. A bishop and move, shake hands. A Muslim marrying a Christian. Where did the peace, love, and harmony we fought for go? Let's remember where we come from. If we don't, no success. It's better to find peace than to be in need. No more. The world should be a better place. You and I live together as one. You and I live together as one. You and I live together as one. You and I live together as one.
One blood is what we're preaching. How many lives we gonna lose to get even? Stitch the border pieces with love. Let's build bridges as peace echoes the ridges. Countries, continents, states. We are one village. The human race created in God's image.
You're my brother, when ni ndugu yangu. You're my sister, when ni dada yangu. When ni dada yali, we watoka wapi? Watunga wapi? Nikufaana, nikufaana.
Kutoka magharibi, kusini, kaskazini, dunia ni moja.
It doesn't matter where you come from.
Wow, and this question I have to ask you. How do you feel having given your life to touching the lives of other people?
Well, touching about other people's life is that we have to live in peace. As in, I always translate it and say that whenever we are tribal, we are looking as if we are foolish. Any person who is tribal, I can look into the camera and say, any person who is tribal, you are foolish. Later, Kenya is one. Kenya belongs to one people, one nation. And I think after the elections, we do remain as one people and live peacefully.
Wow, thank you very much. Two more questions. One to you. If anyone wants to join the Kibera Sound, how can we join? And we'll go finally to you.
Well, I mean, the project began with a set number of artists. The idea was that we help this initial number, and then ideally a new batch of artists would be identified, and again under the same label of Kibera Sound. That's the noble intention. Now in practice things take a bit more difficult, but that was the general idea, to help not just 10 but another 10 and another 10 and another 10.
Wow.
And I think we chose a good initial mix, and that's how that song came out. Of course, Peace and Harmony. When we did all the other tracks 3 by 3, I think when people got to, because the Peace and Harmony song was performed by all the artists together. So I think once they got into the studio together, they felt that urge to create that specific. It wasn't cynically created because of we were going to have elections. I don't want people to think we are calculating in that way. These are all very spontaneous actions, and it's good because people felt. Now, when the elections came gradually closer, we felt, well, this track is a good one to put out there.
Yeah, sure.
Because it has a positive message. I mean, it speaks for itself, you know. We don't have to go on about it, but basically is, walk away from violence is the message.
Definitely. And to the last question, if you want to find you, any social media handles that we can follow you from?
Yeah, on Twitter, Kibera underscore, yeah, sound. And then Facebook, Kibera Sound Kenya. Yeah.
YouTube.
Same.
Oh, Kibera Sounds.
Kibera Sound everywhere.
Okay.
But finally, we want to thank Mono, Mickey, Shortwave, Kafu, Sophie, Rizzi, Tizo, and Molly. Those are the artists.
Wow.
They need a mention because
A shout out.
they are part of it.
Those are shout outs to all those people that have been mentioned, and that was the Kibera Sound. Thank you very much for coming. And I'm very inspired by you people that going out there making Kibera great, and you people are great.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. We can't thank you enough. And because there's a tattoo going on, would you, any one of you want to do a tattoo?
Later, I'll take a rain check.
Wow, it is on that note that we end our interview. You can find it on YouTube, Kibera Sounds. DJ Talk, give us some music.